All right, welcome back to another day trading recap video. I just want to recap the trades I had on Tuesday, which I finished up. So on Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022, I finished up $200.20. I gave a little bit off the top. I started red pretty much the whole pre-market, very break even about the during pre-market. Then I went red at the open, and then I had a nice win. And that put me up to 225 on the day, and then I gave a little bit back off the top, and then I just walked. I didn't really want to keep trading. There wasn't really much moving, so there wasn't a reason to keep trading, and I didn't want to give back any more profits. It just wasn't worth it in my opinion. However, if the market was hot and there's still setups and things still heating up and running to the front sides, the upside, I would definitely keep trading, but definitely I called it kind of early around 9:45, and within 15 minutes I made $200. That's pretty good. So let's review those trades. RDBX, we'll start with that. I did that a pre-market trade. I was looking for a bottom bounce. It sold off pretty hard this day. Down to $8. I thought we'd have a bottom bounce and reclaim this level of 850 and maybe run towards 9 to the next resistance level. But the volume just wasn't really holding. You see on this candle was just a weak bullish candle, a weak green candle. So on that candle, I took it off, and that was it. Nothing really set up from there on RDBX, and it did sell off a whole lot during the open. So OST was the one that I focused on. So let's jump over to OST. Right here popped up. It was no news, however, because this huge day that it sold off 91%, 90%, 91% sold off with no significant bounce. So the bounce had to be coming. Anyone who was getting in late, short selling late into this pop or into the sell-off needed to get squeezed out. So, and here was it. This was the start. I think this can at least, run towards to squeeze out early short sellers. Anyone that shorted after this huge sell-off move, I think we can jump towards I think we can run towards 10. I think this stock can jump towards 10 just because of the amount that this sold off, and that has a lot of attention from yesterday. It traded 58 million shares, so that's pretty significant, especially with no news. And since it's a pretty recent IPO, there's not a lot of bag holders on it, and there's not a lot of short sellers on it except from 5 trading days. So the resistance levels are not going to be as strong as they would be on a stock that has been trading for a couple years. And the shorts aren't going to be as populated as stocks that have also been around for quite a while, unless they're new shorts getting in on, opening their position. There's going to be no history of short sellers, selling at a certain price point. So who knows how high this can go. We could have a bigger bounce today, but we'll see. Right now there's no volume, so that's a bit concerning. Maybe a near open and we'll get some volume, and then anything pushing $5, I'm going to be looking to put in my starter position, and then definitely going to be adding into the high, the break of 520. I'm just not sure. Today, if shorts got in on this day, the day of this trading day, they're definitely gonna have stops around $5. So we'll see how high that can go. But anyways, let's review the pre-market here on OST. It popped up on no news. However, it was significant volume, I guess. 200,000 on this candle. 200,000 on that candle, then it dropped down to 60,000 shares of volume, and it kind of held this support. Every time it dipped down below the VWAP, people were snatching up those shares, and I knew it felt kind of bullish still, so I was accumulating the lows here, kind of selling into the pops. Didn't make much until here. I started accumulating. I just took a starter position at 550, 354. Looking to cut it if it was retesting or breaking below the VWAP. However, since we didn't break below the VWAP, I was adding. So I added at 357, then I added again for the breakout at 357, and then 367. I was in about 600 shares for the breakout, and then I took it off on this some on this candle here, and then on this candle here, I took the rest off at 377. So going into the open, I was up maybe about 20 bucks. And then here at the open, we flushed it down first, and this candle was getting bought up pretty quick. So I started buying and buying and buying, and then on this candle, I took some off here on this false breakout. I thought we would see a bigger move right through $4. I thought it would be like almost instant. But we kind of stalled out here, so I knew we were due for like a pullback. It just seemed too top heavy because it struggled to break this level. Ideally, you'd want to see this candle rip through this level, gap to $4, and then pop to like 420 instantly. That's something that you would see in a really hot market, and this just goes to show you that the market is still not hot yet. If it was hot, this would have really ripped through 4 to 420 in like an instant. You wouldn't even be able to add between 4 and 420. It would just immediately gap towards the next block of sellers. And that's what I was really looking for. That's why I was getting so aggressive. And then it kind of rolled over. However, I was still holding like a $300 position. I didn't sell my last 300 shares on this pop. I was holding because I was like, maybe we could still see like or just a retest of the VWAP here and then maybe push. But then we flushed through, and I was like, I really shouldn't have done this. I really should have cut it here, took the loss. I would have been back to $0 on the day. Perfectly fine, a $20 loss. But I held because I think this was actually a mistake. I really shouldn't have held here. This is bearish here. This is bearish. It could have kept selling off. There's no news. See, volume is decreasing here. I really could have had a huge loss. But I didn't cut it. I didn't cut it. And I don't know how I feel about that because there's going to be a time where that's going to happen and it's not going to pop up like this. And I'm going to actually get stuck with a big loss. So I definitely, it worked in my favor this time, but I have to cut it. If it broke down VWAP, it's bearish. I mean, we had a false breakout here. It broke the high. So that's even more of a confirmation that it would be bearish. In this case, it wasn't. There were still buyers on it looking for an opportunity to push towards 4. So I got lucky there. As soon as I saw this candle pop back up and reclaim the 20 moving average EMA, I started adding back to my position. And then as soon as I saw this candle here on new, fresh green volume on a break through the VWAP, I knew we would see that red to green. I felt it. Buyers were getting aggressive. I just saw huge blocks of green on the tape. Anytime the candle would like wick a little bit lower, it would just get bought back up. Wick a little lower, bought back up. And that just shows me that bulls are trying to get the best price possible because they're expecting a breakout here. They're expecting a bigger move. So then I get super aggressive. I'm in like 1,400 shares. So that's about like 4,000, maybe 5,000, between $4,000 and $5,000. And I got a nice pop up towards 4. And then I bought the dip, scalping this range here. Just buying the dips, selling in the pops, and then looking for potentially a move higher. But we didn't end up seeing that move higher. And I thought we would eventually, but it didn't end up coming in this push here. This is the classic red to green, by the way. This is the red to green setup. So at the open, dips below the open price, and then fresh dips below the open price, and volume comes out of nowhere. Fresh green volume comes out of nowhere, reclaiming the previous open price and retesting the high of day on higher volume and into strength. That's your classic red to green pattern. This is the pattern that I make the most of my money on. right, right at the open. This is the classic pattern that I make most of my money. And here, so I thought, I was holding 100 shares. I bought this candle here. I thought we'd finally see it, the pop, but we didn't. And I took most of my position off. I was holding 100 shares. I thought maybe we'd dip below the VWAP real quick and then rip back up. I thought there'd be buyers under here, but there weren't. A lot of sellers came in, and this had a nice flush, 5% flush. I took 5% loss on my starter size of $360. And that I gave back $25 off the top. That was my final here, that I gave $25 off the top. So I went from 225 to 200 on the day. And that was it. I didn't trade that. I went to go to work, and I spent 11 hours yesterday at work, and I made less than what I made today, which is kind of a bit discouraging for me wanting to go to work, and it's very not motivating. I really want to quit, but like I don't think I should yet, because I don't think I'm making enough to hold me over to for trading yet. I think I need to make a little bit more, just because I need that cushion in case I have a bad week or a couple red days. I need to still be able to make a wage that I could live off of from trading. So maybe around, if I can average on my good days, maybe around $500 a day, then I would consider, I would definitely, I wouldn't even think about it. I would just quit my job, because it's really not worth it. I'm definitely, some days I'm making more trading than I do on my job, and that's just like, that's not the best feeling. It's not the best feeling going into work knowing you're not going to make as much. However, it is guaranteed money, so there is a pro to that. But it's you have to waste your whole day, and you're tired, and you're mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, and it's not really worth it. If you're trading and you're making more money. So eventually, hopefully soon, I get to quit my job, because I really don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, so we'll see. I'll definitely keep this channel updated with where I'm at, if I'm gonna go trading full time versus just stay part time right now. But right now I'm still part time. I'm only trading from 7 to 10. But yeah, OST did give some more opportunity. I feel like maybe I would go for this move if I was still trading. Maybe I would go for that move. But see, the volume is different on these pops here. It's much lighter than here. Yeah, you see how like the volume, I mean, here is a higher volume, but I mean, after that, the volume really slowed down. You didn't want to be trading any of this unless you're focusing on range trading, which I don't. I'm a momentum trader looking for breakouts and dip buys into strength. So like, for example, I go for a breakout, it pops up maybe 50 cents, hits a resistance at that 50-cent mark, for example, pulls back maybe 10 cents. That is a pullback into strength, and that's something that I always want to be buying into. If it's the highest, the leading gapper of the day, or the highest volume leader with the low float, definitely buying into strength. Breakout, buy into the breakout, taking profits, and then looking for a pullback after a fresh breakout. That's like the best momentum strategy that a lot of people use. And if you're looking to do momentum strategies, that's definitely one that you need to master. You have to be quick. You have to make fast decisions, but you can make so much. The risk-reward ratio is just insane, because these small caps, these low floats, can just go 50, 100, 200%, and just, yeah, the risk-reward is crazy, especially when you're buying into strength or into like a front-side move. But yeah, see, OST, not, the volume was weak, fading all day. Here at Power Hour, you got a pump, but look, the volume is still not good. We only had one candle that had 700,000 shares, which is really good, but it needed to sustain that level, and you could see a bigger move. So we'll see today if we get more volume on OST, and we get sustained higher volume on OST. This could really fly to maybe $10 or so. So I'm definitely gonna be, if it's in a front side move, continue to get aggressive, buying front side pullbacks, and looking for the breakout. So that's my plan on OST moving forward. But yeah, that's my trading recap. Very happy with my performance. $200. Hopefully, we keep this up, and we see even bigger green days than that. So see you guys on the next day trading recap. Peace.